Off the bench overtime, T-Bob, Jacob Hester, Mickey Loomis addresses the media. Will Saints draft a quarterback in the NFL draft? I haven't seen Loomis's interview. We usually cover Mickey's WWL spots. I haven't seen it, so what I'll be hearing from them will be the first time hearing that. So let's go ahead and get into this, shall we?
Mickey Loomis was on the Saints coaches show with my old man, the Cannon, and in my father's interviewing style, he offered a bit of a meandering question, but one where he had to get his bona fides out there in front, right? Basically saying, like, look, I'm a voice of the people. We've seen this in other places. If it's like Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes, y'all almost drafted. A lot of setup to ask Mickey Loomis, would you draft a quarterback in this year's draft or next year's draft? And now,
so with the quarterback thing, we've talked about this a little bit, and we will obviously talk about this in length from now until the draft. But I don't have a problem drafting a quarterback and letting them sit. I think that is the best possible thing you can do for a quarterback's development. The issue is where the Saints draft. If someone falls to the Saints, if Caleb Williams falls, or if Drake May falls, or Jayden Daniels falls, and they don't have to fall to the Saints, they can fall just within like trade range where you can move up and get that player. If that happens, I am all good. Let's do it. Draft that guy, let him sit for a year, and then start him next year after you get rid of Carr. All for that. What I am not for is for the Saints to reach on a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix or whoever and try and force them into the system and try and force them into a bad situation. It's really, I think the draft is one of those things where you got to kind of play with the cards you're dealt. You can't force hands, or you can't force how you want things to go. If you want a quarterback, but a quarterback's not there, by reaching and taking a guy who doesn't work out, you're just wasting the pick. So depending on the situation, it is certainly fluid. It would probably be better if the Saints just got the best player available and quit filling the roster with C+ players. Loomis is probably going to say a lot of the same thing. Knowing Loomis, he'll be nondescript. He's not going to give you an answer one way or the other, but we'll see.
I just realized I don't have. Let me pull up Loomis's quote in front of me.
Come on, fellas. In front
of me. My
Come on.
freezing. Jacob,
y'all can do this.
Time. Why is my computer freezing?
He said Jacob. He didn't say Jake.
Come
no
on.
Time.
Why?
Yeah, that's. I think I'm Jacob.
Yeah.
Fellas, edit. Get an editor.
Like for real, it's just gonna freeze now. It's
Clip.
Hey, it's okay.
The freaking
Clip
webpage
this. Just kind of X here, X here.
You're about to get a
clip
new
it.
one. You're about to get a new one.
Yeah.
Don't freak out on this one. If he said anything other than absolutely we're going to take a quarterback in the first round this year, next year, I don't know that I want to hear it.
Next year. Now that is a much different answer. If he says, "Look, yes, we're in the market for a quarterback within the next couple of years. We want to find the quarterback that fits the system the best. We have a lot of stuff we have to fix, but blah blah blah." That's probably the right answer. The answer, he can't. If I was the GM, if I was Mickey Loomis, first of all, the Saints wouldn't be, under 500. But if I was the GM, I wouldn't say, yes, we are taking a quarterback this year, because I don't know who's going to be there. You don't want to say, yes, I'm definitely taking one this year for sure. Who knows who's getting taken? Who knows the opportunities? Who knows the trade partners? Like, who knows any of that stuff? So I know the fans want to hear, yes, we are changing quarterbacks, or yes, we are drafting a quarterback. But I think giving that, again, if you say, yes, we are drafting a quarterback, all the ones you want get drafted, and then you take Jared Verse or Keon Coleman, that's the best thing you can do. But you're going to be looked at as a liar. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of question, where he really can't offer you a for sure one way or the other.
It's only going to make me angry.
So here it is. So he was asked directly, would you be looking to draft like an heir apparent to Derek Carr, a quarterback in this draft, or next year?
And not to mention, if he does say yes, what does that say to like Jake Haener? What does that say to, it makes those players think that they're not good enough. Whatever. Like I'm not saying you don't draft one, but to come out and say it at this point of the season, at this stage, would be kind of weird.
No, I mean, my dad really tried to soften the question, right? And he said, quote, "You're asking me to speculate about the future, and we're in the middle of the season. That's a silly what-if exercise, so I'm not even going down that path."
Wow.
Mickey. Bro.
Damn, Mickey. Jeez.
If this was any other city, Mickey Loomis would have been fired, or they would be constant picketing for his jobs. And I know that a lot of people already are, and we've talked about it here. He's an owner. He's untouchable, basically. But, that's an answered with the confidence of an owner. You're in the middle of a season. What season?
Well, to Mickey's credit, people aren't going to like me saying this. To Mickey's credit, the season isn't technically over yet. So I can see where Mickey, again, if you're Mickey, not if you're the fans, for the fans, the season's over. We have like less than a 5% chance to make the playoffs. If you're Mickey, though, you can't just say, we're moving on, we're doing this, we're doing that. Like, the division could still be had. The playoff, you could still host a playoff game. So Mickey can't come out there and say, we're looking forward, we're looking to the future, we're looking to whatever, because you do have to win this game in Tampa Bay. You do have to win the game against Atlanta. So again, guys, I understand the difference here where fans are looking to the future. Fans are looking to replacing Carr. Fans are looking to firing Dennis Allen. Fans are looking to replacing Pete Carmichael. I am right there with you, but I'm not employed by the New Orleans Saints. My job is not the GM. My job is not the head coach. My job is not the offensive coordinator. My job is not the quarterback. So it's going to be a totally different level of motivations for all those positions. Dennis Allen isn't looking to the future because Dennis Allen has to win these last two games. If you ask Dennis Allen, the Bucs game might as well be the Super Bowl, and the Falcons game might as well be the Super Bowl. If you ask a fan, if I open this window and ask whoever's sleeping on the sidewalk, if I ask him, he's going to say these games don't matter because we're not making the playoffs. So it's a completely different level of point of view there from the different people we're asking here. So I'm not surprised at all that Mickey isn't ready to talk about the future when the season is still technically, mathematically alive.
A season of disappointment, a season of failed expectations, a season of unfulfilled potential, a season of discord, a season of sadness. You're the easiest schedule that any of us have ever seen since watching the NFL our entire lives.
Yes.
And you blew it. And you absolutely
two
blew
years
it.
in a row you blew it.
And I don't even care. And so help me God, if you win these last two games and you go 9-8, I don't care if you win the division somehow. If the Panthers beat the Bucs and everything. If you go 9-8 and you run it back with this staff, shame on you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree there.
And I hope that the fans continue to vote with their wallet.
It is such an interesting situation with the Saints because they did blow it, right? They have blown it, but somehow there's still like a little bitty baby slice of hope. And wouldn't it just be so Saints that when everyone is finally like, all right, God, I can't watch this anymore. I'm done with it. Wouldn't it be so Saints for them to reel you in then and be like, oh, LOL, we won the division and we hosted a playoff game. Like, I was having a conversation today with about the Bucs. People, it's like the Bucs are going to win this game. Let's bet the Bucs. Let's bet a ton of money on the Buccaneers straight up to win this game. And logically, yeah, I'm with you. But how Saints would it be for this to be the best performance of the year, Carolina to beat Tampa, us to beat Atlanta, us to host a playoff game, and all of a sudden the Saints are on a run in the playoffs? I don't think it's going to happen, but how Saints would it be? Now, another thing Mickey's got to look at, okay? Let's say we lose both these games. Then Mickey's hand is kind of forced when it comes to Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael. If we win these games, it's a totally different outlook, right? He could probably say, well, we're going to bring Dennis Allen back, but he's going to be on a short kind of pitch clock. Pete Carmichael's gone, whatever. So he still has to deal with that. I have a sneaky feeling we're going to lose both these games. I think we're going to lose to the Bucs, and I think we're going to lose to the Falcons. And if that is the case, then that's as close as you can get to like a total failure, collapse, like end of the world, dystopian, word of the day, apocalyptic situation. If we get swept by Atlanta, get swept by Tampa, go 2-4 in the division, at that point, you're what, 4 games under 500? Or 3 games? You're 3 games under 500 with the easiest schedule the NFL has ever created. You haven't won the division in 2 years. Like in that case, Mickey has to fire Dennis Allen. You don't have a choice. If he loses to Tampa and Atlanta, he's probably fired the next day. He's probably fired the day after the Atlanta game. If he wins both those games, there probably will be like an internal review process and all that stuff. So I know we want to press fast forward on this season. I know we want to skip ahead 2 games and just get to the offseason. But for Mickey, you kind of do have to see what happens in these next 2 games.
Because there were empty games towards the end of this year. And if you run it back, you will see more empty seats in the future.
Does somebody also want to tell him that the middle of the season doesn't mean you have 2 games left?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That
I think this is the
Why
end
would
of
I
the
be
season.
scouting quarterbacks? I'm only the GM with a failing starting quarterback. Get out of here. I got to
With
get
2
ready for
games
these
left.
games.
And the Senior Bowl is like 4 weeks away.
The dumbest part is the answer's so easy. It's, we explore all possibilities, of course.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I would have said we want. If I was the GM, I would say we want to do better. The fans deserve better. You deserve better. Our supporters deserve better. Everyone realizes we have not met expectations this year. We take full accountability, and we are going to review every single position, every coaching job, my job. We're going to review the front office. We're going to review everything that we can and make the improvements we need to get this franchise back to where it belongs. That's what I would have said. That is the best possible answer. And that was just ripping. I mean, just improv'd it up. No PR team. LOL. That's what I would have said. And that would have been perfect. Perfect answer. You take accountability. You admit that this is not good enough. You're transparent with the fans. You understand their frustration. You talk about the future. You want to get better. All things you want to do. Great answer. That's what he should have said.
Hey, what?
That's it.
No, your defensive nature lets us all know that you feel insecure about how badly you've screwed up that position. But all of y'all, be it Dennis Allen, Mickey Loomis, that the money that they paid Derek Carr, they might as well have like Secret Service earpieces in, because if anything whiffs of negative Derek Carr questioning or news, these 2 dudes jump in front of that bullet every single time. It's unreal.
And then you got like situations in the NFL where Sean Payton's benching Russell Wilson for Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
Because he's like, look, this ain't the direction that we need to go.
It's also
and
a
they
money
paid
situation.
him all that money, still paying him all that money.
It's also a money thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that happened to Carr in Vegas, where he gets a roster bonus if he's on the roster, if he's medically cleared or whatever the verbiage is, of like $40 million. So they're moving on from him. They're still going to pay him the dead cap money, but they're saving $40 million in bonuses. Same exact thing with Carr, where they sit Carr for Stidham. Carr's not on the roster. They say that whatever it was, $35, $40 million. So that's what's going on with Russell Wilson.
They gave up a treasure chest of draft choices, but he realizes it's not the direction if we want to win football games, and everybody else is kind of doing their part because that's what the NFL is.
Yeah, I mean, Sean Payton's doing the right thing because the Broncos are still mathematically alive as well. The Broncos are in a similar situation the Saints are in. And Sean Payton is not interested in empty division titles. He's not interested in empty playoff games. He wants his team to be good. He wants his team to be better. So if shaving $40 million off of a bad contract and getting away from an aging quarterback gets him closer to that goal in the future, he's going to take that chance. That's it. Now, totally different situation. Sean Payton can do that because Sean Payton ain't getting fired, right? Sean Payton's he's going to have a couple years to turn this around. Dennis Allen can't do that. Dennis Allen can't bench Derek Carr for Jake Haener or Jameis Winston, go 0-2, and because he will get fired. So Dennis Allen's coaching for his job. Sean Payton is not. So again, the POV of the coaches, the fans, the player, everyone is different. The Saints situation is very unique right now. It's very
if you're
complex.
not playing good, you get replaced. somebody comes in or you try something different. You don't keep trying the same thing and hope that it works out. But that's what they're doing.
Tommy says if Loomis, can't be fired, then my fandom is done.
He's not getting fired. He's not getting fired.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, no, this obviously the Saints don't care about any individual, and like no NFL team does. I'm not saying that's like the Saints. Like no NFL team cares about this one individual being like, I'm done. But like any sort of revolution or anything, when the people gather en masse and work together, that's when it does start to resonate.
One thing too, I'll say with the fans or to the fans is that we got to focus what we want here. We can't. It's a waste of time for us to be like, I want Carmichael gone, and I want Allen gone, and I want Loomis gone, and I want Carr gone, and I want the offensive line, fixed. I want Penning gone. I want Jordan gone. I want blank player gone. I want blank player gone. All of a sudden, then it's like, guys, we don't have a roster. We don't have a staff. The building is empty. We fired the HR group. We fired the accounting department. We got to pick our battles here. Right now, the battles are Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael. Get them out of here. That is the full focus. It's not Loomis. It's not Gail Benson. It's not even Derek Carr. Derek Carr is going to be here for another year. We know that, right? The fastest track to making this team better is Allen and Carmichael. Give Loomis this. He found Sean Payton and Drew Brees. That gave us 15 years of success. Was it a lot of Sean Payton making the roster moves? I don't know, right? But we have found a lot of diamonds in the rough. We have had good players, right? We have had success. He has made some horrible decisions recently. Okay? No doubt. But it's a little quick to fire him as long as also with our entire coaching staff. I think we can agree, F- with the Allen Carmichael situation. F-. Last couple drafts, last 2-3 drafts, below average. Sure. But we got to look at the whole tenure here. Should he be fired? I don't think so. I think Loomis deserves a chance to fix this mistake. Now, if he does not fix the mistake, if he is so stubborn he doesn't admit there's a mistake, and he doesn't try and hire a new coach, and he runs it back with Allen and Carmichael and Carr, then yeah, okay. Now we can start looking at gross negligence. So I hear you. I'm with you. All right, the voice of the voiceless. I'm right there with you. But let's focus on the biggest problem here. And the biggest problem is Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael. If Loomis goes and hires Ben Johnson, and Ben Johnson, takes the Saints to a whole different direction, okay, good job, Mickey. You did what you had to do. You righted the wrong. All right, we got to let him try and find the next person, the next coaching staff, the next vision, the next future. Can he capture lightning in a bottle like he did with Sean Payton and Drew Brees? I don't know. We'll see. I think he has deserved that.
Jesse, because at the beginning of the year, I'm assuming the Superdome was packed out at all of those home games?
Yes.
How different did it feel in some of those later matchups?
So literally in preseason, it was pretty packed.
Yeah.
Very, very packed. Last week, not so much.
Nobody goes to preseason games. All right, I don't go to preseason games. I don't want to watch 4-string people play, bottom line. Beginning of the season, it was packed, for sure. But that's every team. The end of the year, when you're out of contention, when your team is bad, of course, no one's going to go to the games. The Panthers game last year, I didn't even go. We didn't even go. So it's every team, though. Every team. If you're bad, people aren't going to care. If you're good, people are going to care. Did y'all watch the Browns game last night? Browns-Jets? Browns Stadium looked like it was the center of the universe. People were everywhere. It was crazy. You think it was like that whenever they were winless? No.
It was more empty last week than it was in preseason. Everyone boos every time Derek Carr walks on the field.
Last year, the last home game wasn't too bad with the boos and all that stuff. It wasn't that bad.
to stand there and smile.
Keep dancing.
Hey, Barstool, when Livy Dunn, first off, Livy Dunn posted a TikTok of me at the Saints game.
Oh, okay.
If you saw that,
what's going on
that
here?
was me flipping.
Wait, we got to look. Okay,
Yeah,
we're going to play this next when we
What
get
is
back
going
now.
on
Yes, I will pull it up. Barstool reposted it and said, "We are more entertaining than the Saints offense." And that is true.
God, that's so depressingly true. I mean, there's nothing that less entertaining than the Saints offense for the first 3.5 quarters against Carolina this year. Like that is bad football that will be burned into my. I could die, and if you did brain scans, you could probably like dig in and find exactly where.
The Carolina wasn't even the worst. The worst was Minnesota. I mean, at home it was bad, but the Tampa game was worse. The Minnesota game was way worse. I know it was on the road. Falcons game was way worse on the road. The Carolina game to end last season was way worse. Sam Darnold beat us with 70 yards passing or whatever. I get it. You know, I understand, guys, for sure. I understand the frustrations, but we got to focus in. You know, we need the coach. We need the vision. We need the foundation. We need a new scheme. We need a new. It's obvious what we need. We've talked about it all year long. Pete Carmichael's the worst play caller in the NFL. We've seen that. We've seen how poorly our players are prepared and game planned or whatever. We've seen that. We know what the problem is. We know how to fix it. New coach, new play caller, whole new coaching staff. That's what I want. If Mickey does not do that, I will be the first one to say, if Mickey comes out and says, we're gonna bring Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael back, I believe in these guys, we're going to give them another year to figure it out, I will be screaming from the rooftops that's the dumbest decision and he should be fired. I'm giving him a few weeks to right the wrong. We got 2 games left, barring a miracle. 2 games left. And then we can really see what's going to happen. We can really see what Mickey's plan is. Okay? Be patient. Be patient. Ladies and gentlemen, go down in the comments below. Let me know what you think. I'll be down there replying. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.